Chapter 9, Lt4. We're adding and subtracting rational expressions. This is Mrs. Ogier.
And Miss Lahar.
And here we go. Put your pen down, people.
And actually turn up the volume.
Turn it up. I feel like I should be recording a song right now.
All right. In my opinion, adding and subtracting rationals is probably the hardest of this chapter.
Agreed.
I mean, equations a little bit, yeah, but it's just kids hate fractions so much that they go into this with like, meh. So you got to remember that with fractions, guys, you have to have a common denominator.
Got it.
Look at these two situations. I can't add those together because
Nope.
it's like apples and oranges. We're not comparing the same things.
Nope.
So you have to get...
It's like a Bazzano slice of pizza and a pizza Hut little itty bitty slice of pizza. You can't count those as the same calories, people.
You know? It would not be the same. You need common denominators. And remember, how we get common denominators is we see what factor or what least common multiple of the two.
The easiest way to get a common denominator is to just multiply by the other. So what I mean by that is if this has a 3, multiply the left fraction by 3 and 3. If this is 11, multiply top and bottom of the other one by 11 and 11. Sometimes that makes it a lot bigger than you intended to, but it will always work.
Yep, you'll just have to reduce in the end.
Right.
So this is just me writing out all the factors of 3, all the factors of 11. The first ones they have in common are 33.
So in this case, that would have been the easiest one as well.
Then you change, you multiply what you said before, you add over, and then you keep the denominator. Boom, it's done.
Boom.
So now let's go into rational.
With common denominators. You
So
can pick
this-
your pen back up now.
Yep. So this is what they look like. Just an example. You would have x plus 3 x times x plus 4. Oh, look, it's the same thing.
Yay, so this is just 5 over that.
Okay? Or it could be, multiplied out. As long as they're the same, you keep the,
Now, remember, you're still adding as usual. So r plus r is 2r, 5 and negative 4 is 1. So it's still what you're used to doing. Now, helpful tips.
look for a common denominator.
Okay, check 1.
Step 1. So here we go.
Okay.
First 2.
So I have common denominators. M plus m is 2m. Negative 5 plus negative 1 is negative 6. Look at us go. And we're just showing you that when you're adding, you can just write this all as one numerator. You don't have to repeat the denominator every time.
And you don't have to
create
write
one
that
fraction.
step if you don't want to.
Exactly.
Okay, and then
Be careful with the subtraction.
Yep.
Be careful.
Distribute.
Distribute your subtraction sign.
Oh, that thing was popping up. Like sometimes your expressions will be able to simplify, but if I took out a 2 there, nothing could happen. So I would,
All right, back to LT1.
Yep, but make sure that you factor to check it,
Check
All right,
yourself,
here we go.
people.
Oh, my rainbow is off, but still
It's
the
beautiful.
same concept. Distribute your negative. So that looks like that, negative n plus 5.
So remember, we're writing it as one fraction just so we don't, I hate having to write the denominator 17,000 times, so I
Yep.
will always try to condense it to one fraction.
And then you simplify, and then I
Bam.
can't divide everything by n, so actually I'm done. There's nothing I
Yes.
can do.
Some of you will try to do this, vroom, vroom, and make this an n, or cancel these two out. No, these are all touching. They're holding hands, okay? You do not separate something when it's holding hands.
Only if they all have it can you do that.
Right.
Everybody.
Correct.
All right, now, here we go.
Do not cross multiply.
Yep, don't cross multiply.
Some of you are going to want to...
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Okay, so let's think about, we've got denominators of 4x and 3. So first, 4 and 3, what would be the common?
12.
12, okay. Look at me write all that stuff up there.
Boom.
Good job. Now, what does the other one have that the other doesn't?
X.
So guess what your denominator is?
12x.
All right.
Let's go.
So here's my scrap work. If you don't need to write this down, just think it through. What do you have to multiply 4x to get to 12x? 3x. Then you multiply the top, boom. Take your second one. I like scrap work.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay. 4x over 3 turns into 16x squared over 12x. Add the numerators.
Do not cross these out.
Don't cross these out. And there's no number that all of them can go into, so that is a simplified expression.
Now, some of you are like, why did they keep saying that? Because we know the common mistakes you will make. You guys are smart enough to figure this stuff out, but then you'll make silly mistakes like that in the end, and it'll lose everything.
Yep. It's
It'll all
only
be
if
gone.
they all have it.
Correct.
My numbers don't make sense. Just go with it.
Just go with it, people.
Look for the example.
Okay, so remember, the easiest way to get a common denominator, you could just do 2xy, 2xy, 3x, 3x, but you would have an extra x then, just saying, it would reduce down. So let's think about it a little bit better. The 3 and the 2, we want to create a 6. So I'm going to multiply the top and bottom by 2, top and bottom by 3. They both already have an x, so really I just need to pop a y onto this fraction over here. So here's the scratch work that gets you there.
My other one will pop up later.
We have 4y over plus 15x, so that was what happens here, and then the 6xy was our common denominator. Had you done the x like I was talking about before, you would have an x here, an x squared here, and an x squared here. They all would have an x in that case, and you could simplify.
When in doubt, multiply your denominators out.
Yes, agreed.
Now, careful with this one. Everyone's like, oh, it's just x plus 3. That'll work. No.
No. This x is not like this x because
Right.
these guys are holding hands. They go together. You cannot separate them. This is x plus 3. This is just x. We can't multiply by 3 and create an x plus 3.
No,
That's
we
not a
can't
thing.
add something 3 because that just doesn't work. So
Right.
basically, this one, you're just going to have to multiply them together for your common denominator.
Consider x plus 3 like a separate, like a y. Okay? It's something separate from this. They happen to share a variable, but it's a separate term.
Okay. So then again, here's my scratch work for building up my fractions.
Boom.
So then I'm going to put them over the denominators. Now I'm going to add at this point. So I get 2x plus 3 over x times the quantity x plus 3. Nothing can cancel out of everything. Even I can't take anything out of the top. So
Don't
basically
try to
we're
take
done.
that x plus 3. Don't do it. Again, we know that these mistakes will happen. Don't do it.
Okay. Now this one.
Ooh.
I've got 2x minus 6, and then I have 6 minus 2x. Aren't those just like
They look really similar. Okay, so how could I make this? Well, wait, subtraction isn't commutative.
Right, right.
Oh, but wait, if I GCF a -1, or if I multiply top and bottom by -1, I have 2x and -6 now,
Yep.
which is what I have here.
Okay. So we kind of just did a math trick. If you multiply any number by 1, so -1 over -1 is just 1. So you don't change its, ish number.
Right.
Jeez,
We just change its sign. So anytime you have this situation happen where you kind of want to do like the commutative property of subtraction, which is not a thing, I repeat, is not a thing.
Right.
You can just multiply it by -1.
Okay. So the only thing that's changed is my numerator has become negative. So now I have common denominators and I can take it out.
Yay! Oh, I got a GCF.
I
GCF
GCF.
top and bottom.
Ooh, and look at what happens.
Now, notice how the x minus 3 is completely separated. It's like, I don't want to touch you. There's a barrier here from the 3 and 2. We can cross those bad boys out and get 3/2.
For a final answer.
Boom. So, whoosh, whoosh,
Okay.
3/2.
So that's a little math trick, just so you know. Look
Math
for
trick.
opposites. Just multiply one of the fractions by -1 over -1. Oh boy, that's not a fraction.
No, but I like this one because it's easy. Why is it easy? Because if I don't have a denominator, it's extremely easy to get a common denominator. So remember, this is over 1. If I want a 1 to look like a y plus 2, I multiply it by y plus 2. Now on the top, I have to pay attention because that means that I have y minus 5 times y plus 2. So I have to double distribute.
Yep.
Bam.
Okay,
That
so that
side
becomes my new numerator. And then the 3 over y plus 2 pops down.
So this is going to become -7 when I combine my like terms there. And then I try to factor.
Yeah, I can't think of factors of 7 that subtract to give you as is. Circle that bad boy. And there is adding rationals.
And subtracting. Be careful with
subtract,
subtracting.
yes.
Okay, have a great day, everybody. We'll see you in class.